everyone, it's Tutorials by A here, and today I'll be showing you how to create this 5-pin funky fish bracelet. You can make this bracelet on as many pins as you'd like, but I'll be showing you how to make it on 5 pins. You can extend it and minimize it to as many fishtails as you'd like. So today I'll be showing you how to make this on the monster tail, sorry, but you can also make it on the rainbow loom. I've got the link to the tutorial for the rainbow loom down below in the description box. This bracelet is reversible. As you can see, this is the side with 2 fishtails, and on the opposite side you've got triple fishtails, which is a really cool, and it's got a really unique color pattern. I did not choose to make it so that way there's one white and then one white and rainbow and then one rainbow. That's just kind of how the color pattern comes out due to the loom and band setup. So anyways, this bracelet is a little bit difficult to remember the pattern, but after that it really isn't hard. The hooking process isn't hard, it's just remembering the pattern. So anyways, now without further ado, let's get started. So today you will need a monster tail, and like I said in the beginning, I also have a tutorial for this bracelet using the rainbow loom, so go check out that link down in the description box if you're interested in seeing how to make it on the loom. But you'll need a monster tail for this one. You'll also need about like 130-ish bands if I counted correctly, because this bracelet makes it really hard to count bands just because of the way the loom is set up and stuff like that. So yeah, and you'll also need 1 C-clip and a hook. I'm using a metal tipped hook from the Rainbow Loom web store. It is rainbowloom.com for those of you that didn't know. And so now without further ado, let's get started. So we're going to start with our monster tail and have the red dot on the left. And just so that way you guys can see what the loom setup will kind of look like, it's going to look like this. And so as you can see, it's basically just like the letter N with like an extra diagonal here. So kind of remember this picture, or you can see maybe like a slanted M. I don't know, but basically this is what it's going to look like. So starting with our red dot on the left, I'm going to take my first color of band and I'm going to twist it into a figure 8, going vertically. And we're going to be making the kind of N with an extra leg shape here. So now I'm taking another band. So I've kind of got the first 2 parts there. And then we're going to finish off the letter N here with another figure 8. Just like that. And now we're going to add on its extra little leg here. Like that. So now you're going to need your hook. And as you can see, we've got 3 layers with, 3 pins with 2 layers on them. So as you can see, we've got 1 pin here in the center that has 2 layers of bands. And we've got 2 layers of bands on both pins on the opposite side. So I'm going to turn my monster tail back so that way the red dot is on the left. And we're only going to hook the pins that have 2 layers of bands on them. So this bottom pin here has 2 layers of bands, as you can see. So I'm just going to grab the bottom layer and hook over and release like that. So now what we're going to do, now all these pins have 1 layer. So that means we've done our job correctly, and we're going to turn our loom around. As you can see, we've got 2 layers of bands on both of the pins here on the right side of the loom with the red dot to the right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hook over the bottom layer on both pins. So hook the bottom layer over, and be careful on this pin because the band may fall off. So bottom layer, hook over, and release. Just like that. Now we're going to turn our loom back so that way we have the red dot to the left. And sorry, I keep calling this a loom. But anyways, we are now going to add on another layer of bands. So you're going to take your first color, and we're not going to twist any more bands. We're done with twisting. I'm going to go vertically and diagonally. Finish off the letter N shape here. Like that. And lastly, do the extra little leg here. Like that. So you should have something like this now. And we are now going to do the hooking process again, but we're only going to do it on the pins that have 3 layers on their like the pins themselves. So starting with the red dot on the left, As you can see, the only pin that has 3 layers is this center pin right here. So you're going to hook the bottom layer up and over the pin. Pull it over and release. So you should have something like this now, and now you should have 2 layers on all the pins on this side. Now we're going to turn our monster tail so that way the red dot is on the right side. And we're going to hook over the bands on the bottom of the pins that have 3 layers on them. So both the pins here have 3 layers. So we're going to grab the bottom layer on the middle one here first. And hook over. And do the same thing here. Hook over. Just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn our loom back so that way the red dot is on the left. So always start with the red dot on the left. And now's where the hooking process, kind of everything starts to become the pattern that you will continue throughout the rest of your bracelet. So we're finished with the beginning, so now we're going to start the middle of the bracelet. So you're going to take your first color and go vertically, and now we're going to start the hooking process right after we place one single band on. We're no longer going to finish the whole shape before we hook over. So starting on the side here with the dot to the left, we're going to find the pin that has 3 layers here, and it's going to be the pins, we're only going to hook the pins that have the band attached to it. So the band is attached to these 2 pins, so we are going to do the hooking process on these 2 pins. So grab the bottom layer and do a fishtail stitch, so just pull it over like that. And now we're going to turn our loom around so that way the dot is on the right, and find the pin that the band here is attached to and has 3 layers. And found it, and pull the bottom layer over. This whole hooking process throughout the entire bracelet is fishtail stitches, by the way. So turn it so that way the loom is the red dot is on the left. And now we're going to add the next part of the shape here. So we added a vertical one, so now it's time to make the diagonal one. So you're going to go diagonal this time, just like that. And now this band is attached to this pin here and this pin here. So we're going to do the hooking process on those 2 pins. So again, grab the very bottom layer only and pull over and release. And sorry if you heard background noise. And now we're going to turn our monster tail so that way the red dot is to the right. Find the pin that has 3 layers and grab the bottom layer and grab that and hook over like that. Once again, you're going to turn your loom around so that way you've got this red dot on the left, and we're going to add on our next layer. So we've already gotten a vertical band, and then we did our diagonal band. So now we're going to do another vertical band, like that. And since this band is attached to these 2 pins, we're going to do the hooking process on those 2 pins. So just grab the bottom layer and pull over, and turn your loom around. And grab the bottom layer and pull over again, like that. Turn your loom back to where the dot is on the left. And now we've already finished the whole end shape here. And now it's time to add on the kind of extra leg here, like that. So now the band is attached to these 2 pins, and so we're going to hook on those 2 pins. So just grab the very bottom layer, hook over, turn your loom around, grab the very bottom layer, and hook over, and then turn it again. So yay, we've completed kind of a whole figure here. So we've done the hooking process and band process for all these bands here. And now we're going to do it again, pretty much. You're going to do that over and over again. So now we're going to take one of our other bands with the dot on the left and start the shape over. So vertical band here, so you're only going to hook the bands on the bottom, pull over, turn the loom, bottom band, hook over, turn the loom again. Now you're going to take a single band and go diagonally, grab the bottom band, hook over, turn your loom, and then we're going to grab the bottom band and hook over. So I am going a little bit faster now. I apologize. I may have gotten a little too quick. So now we're going to add a vertical band in the center 2 pins here. And you're going to grab only the very bottom band, hook over like that. And we're going to turn our loom around so the dot is on the right and hook again. Just like that. So you should have something like this. Turn your loom again so that way the dot is on the left. And we're going to add on our little extra leg here. And now we're going to grab the bottom band, hook over. Remember, only do the hooking process on the 2 pins that the band is attached to. The band that we just put on is attached to. Grab the bottom layer, hook over, like that. Turn your loom again so that way the dot is on the left. And we're going to start and reset the whole figure and start over again. So, vertical band here, grab the bottom layer, and hook over. Turn your loom around, grab the bottom layer, hook over, and turn your loom again. Now we're going to add our next color and do the diagonal strip now. And we're going to hook the bottom layer over only on the pins that the band is attached to. Bottom layer, hook over, and turn your loom again. Now we're going to add on another vertical band, but this time it's going to be in the center, like that. Grab this bottom band here and hook over, turn your loom, grab the bottom band here and hook over. Push down and turn your loom again. Add that last leg here and then grab the bottom layer, hook over, turn so the dot is on the right now. Grab the bottom layer on the center pin, hook over like that. Push down and then turn your loom around again. Now, I'll be showing you a couple more times and then I'm going to set you loose so you can go ahead and finish the bracelet off on your own. So try to start remembering the process of everything so that way you can kind of get the hang of it a little bit easier, so that way you could be a little bit more independent later in making the bracelet. So, go vertically. And by the way, we have reset the pattern. Turn the loom. Bottom layer only, hook over. We're going to turn it again so that way the dot is on the left. Now I'm going to be using turquoise jelly this time. Bottom layer, hook over, turn, bottom layer, hook over, and turn again. Vertically here, bottom layer, hook over, and bottom layer here and hook over. Turn again, and we're going to add on our extra limb here kind of. And now we're going to grab the bottom layer, hook over, turn the loom, grab the bottom layer and hook over, and turn the loom again. So with my red dot on the left here, I'm going to tilt it forwards like this. And if you give it a little stretch, you can kind of start to see the triple fishtail pattern forming here. And I did do 2 rose jelly stitches at the beginning because I thought it would look kind of funky with just one because it was the start, but it didn't actually turn out that great. But anyways, you can start to see the triple fishtail forming here. And it looks really cool. Now turn your loom so that way the dot is going to be on the right side now. And you can see the 2-layer 2 fishtails here forming, just like that. And I think this is a really cool bracelet. So if your bracelet is kind of starting to look like mine, then you know that you've been doing your funky fish bracelet correctly now. And so now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you probably 2 more times how to do the process, and then I will set you loose. So, zoomed in a little bit too much there. So we're going to start again with this vertical band here. Dots on the left, by the way. Grab the bottom layer, hook over, turn the loom around, grab the bottom layer and hook over. Turn the loom again. Now we're going to add on our next layer, and I'm going to start over with pink. I don't have purple jelly with me right now. So, got a little confused there for a second. Bottom layer, hook over. Turn the loom again. Now we're going to add on another vertical band, And then you're going to grab the bottom layer, hook over, grab the bottom layer here, and hook over, like that. Turn the loom again, and I am going a little bit faster this time. Diagonal band here. Grab the bottom layer and hook over, and then grab the bottom layer on the opposite side and hook over. Just like that. So now we're going to do another kind of end with the extra diagonal shape here. So reset here, and this will be the last time I show you. So vertical, grab the bottom layer and hook over, turn the loom around, grab the bottom layer and hook over, and turn it again. Diagonal band, grab the bottom layer and hook over, and then grab the bottom layer and hook over again, and then turn your loom again. We're going to add a vertical band now. Grab the bottom layer, hook over, grab the bottom layer and hook over. Our last stitch here, oh, that's not orange. Grab this, stretch it out, grab the bottom layer, hook over, turn your loom, grab the bottom layer and hook over, just like that. So, don't forget to keep stretching your bracelet so that way you make sure that you get a correct length when you're doing this. And as you can see the double fishtail on one side and then the triple fishtail on the other. So basically you're going to continue this process until you get a full length of a bracelet. As you can see here, this is the first one I've made, and here's the double fishtail side. So it is a very comfortable wear because there is pretty much not really any tension at all in this bracelet, so it is very comfortable to wear. So basically just wrap it around your wrist and see if the length is correct, and then once it's finished, go ahead and play this video again so that way I can show you how to finish off your bracelet. But for now, go ahead and rewatch the previous instructions if you are still having a little bit of trouble making this bracelet. If not, pause the video here and we will catch up together to finish this bracelet off. So I am back and I am going to be doing one more layer of the full figure here, so I'm just going to go kind of quick during this part. And I'm actually not going to be turning my monster tail during this. I'm just going to go ahead and hook like from one side here, because I'm going to try to be fast. Oh goodness, I was not centered in the screen. My bad. Sorry about that. Okay, so you should now have something like this, and your monster tail should have the dot on the left. Should look something like this. And now what we're going to do is we are going to finish this off. So what you're going to do, and I'll zoom in a little bit, just a teeny bit. So with the dot on the left, in this bottom center pin right here, you should see 2 layers of bands. Just like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the top layer, only the top layer, pick up the top layer, carefully pull it off, and you're going to hook it upwards to this pin that is directly above it. So directly above it here. Now you're going to take the one remaining band on that pin, hook that, and you're going to put it on the top left pin. So you're going to put it up here, from here to here, like that. Now we're going to close off this figure here. You're going to grab these bottom 2 bands here, all the bands on that pin, and hook upwards very carefully because it's easy to slip these off your hook, like that. Now you're going to grab the 2 bands here and hook them to the second pin, like that. Be very careful. So you should now have something like this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 bands. I'm just going to use my glow in the dark bands for this. And you're going to stick it into this pin here. Stick your hook into this pin. And you're going to grab these 2 white bands here. Grab them and pull them through those bands that are on the pin. and put it off like that. Now you're going to take a C-clip, and I apologize, I accidentally said one C-clip at the beginning of the video, but I mean two. So you are going to take that one C-clip and attach it onto the bands here. So for me, I find it easier to stick my finger inside these loops here and put the C-clip on, but you can do this however you'd like and whatever is best for you. But you just want to get the C-clip onto those two bands that are here. So you should have something like this now, and we're going to do the same thing to the one on the right. So now you're going to take two white bands again, or in my case glow in the dark, but I just call them white. Stick your hook inside all the bands here. Grab these, pull them through, put that on your hook again. So you have a single chain link coming off. Then you want to take your second C-clip and slip that onto these two bands here. So you can't really see anything. And then take that off. And so now your C-clip should be holding on to all those bands here and all those bands here. So now it is safe to carefully pull these off of those pins, just like that. And we can now attach the two ends together. So now this is kind of tricky because, as you can see, this end of the bracelet is crazy. So what I do is I just grab random bands, because honestly this is a crazy mess right here that you honestly can't really tell the symmetrical differences or anything. So I'm just going to stick one C-clip on these two loops right here. So just grab some random loops, don't grab too many though. And stick that on here. Just like that. So I've stuck those on there. Now I'm going to grab two more random loops. I want to grab white ones again so that way both sides match. Like this. And grab these here. Like that. So now I've got this kind of awkward closure here, but that's totally okay because it is honestly really hard to get a symmetrical look for the closure. But anyways, we are now finished with this really cool funky fish bracelet. So once again, I really hope you like this design as much as I do. I absolutely am in love with this design just because I love fishtails, and this combines like a reversible side of 3 and 2 fishtails together. So, and don't forget to check out my tutorial for this bracelet on the rainbow loom as well. And also, you can extend this this kind of zigzag design to as many pins as you'd like. You can make it a really big bracelet. For a reversible effect, or for a more noticeable reversible effect, be sure to use an odd number of pins and an even number of bands when you put that on. But yeah, you can also make it smaller and do 2 here, just do these 2. I've done that before. Or you can extend it and do 7 pins or even 6 pins if you want to do this whole zigzag thing here. But basically, if you post it on social media or anything, if you're wondering what to call it, this is called the 5-pin funky fish, since we used 5 pins, so just call it whatever pins funky fish. So yeah, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if it helped you out, and also hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and find me on all my social media things. They are all in the description box below. My main social media account is my Instagram, definitely. I post every day, and yeah. So once again, I really hope you like this design as much as I do. Don't forget to check out my my tutorial for this on the rainbow loom, and I will see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye!